Hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. All right, guys. So I'm going to jump right into this because I have to go probably about like 3:45, 3:50. I have someone coming to my house to do a healing session for me. So I need to jump off and be ready for when she gets here. Okay. So, really quickly, I wanted to jump on today and talk a little bit about this because I had a subscriber, one of my YouTube subscribers, had a question regarding mind control, pretty much. And I don't know if he is on today because he was going to come on and ask questions, but anyway, I'll just keep rolling. If he jumps in and has questions, or if anybody has questions, please feel free to ask. All right. All right. So first of all, the difference between hypnosis and mind control is that hypnosis is something that the person who is having it done on them, they are open to it. They are a willing participant. Mind control is someone who is having an idea imposed upon them. Okay. And usually this happens with the mind control. This happens through repeated exposure to trauma. All right. With hypnosis, you're using relaxation as a way to get you into the hypnotic state. Now, what people get confused is that hypnosis, the concept of hypnosis, is used in both things, all right? Because hypnosis is repetition. Hypnosis is bypassing the critical filter to get into the subconscious mind where you can implant new behaviors, ideas, and patterns, all right? So the concept is the same for both hypnosis and mind control, all right? However, you get to those states in different ways. So I get to I get to hit the hypnotic state for the purposes of mind control through the repetitive exposure of a traumatic experience. Oh, ear is ringing right now. Okay. Somebody needs to hear this, right? And then for hypnosis, for the purposes of hypnosis and hypnotherapy, you're using relaxation to get you to that. So my subscriber's question was, when you have somebody who's doing like stage hypnosis, right? If you have a person who has participated in stage hypnosis and they find themselves barking like a dog or acting a fool on stage, and then they come back to their waking state and they say, I didn't really want to do that. I'm not sure what happened. I lost total control. All right. So first of all, those people are people who we call somnambulists. All right. That is a very, very small population. Somnambulists are a very small population. These are the people who walk in between worlds. They go into state very, very easily. And the reason why is because they can pick up on both inferred and literal suggestions. Okay. I am a somnambulist. All right. So a somnambulist is also someone who is highly empathic. They probably have some sort of supernatural powers, so to speak. They might be very psychic. They may have some psychic abilities about them. All right. So these people are able to tap in to pretty much everything around them. And if you have a person who is not educated in the ways of blocking energy or learning how to they can be suggestible, but they know how to control the suggestibility. So if there's a person who doesn't know how to do that, then yes, they can fall into, hi, you're here. Hey, they can fall into that space where they're very, very suggestible, meaning they will react to the suggestions that you give them. All right. So the difference is that if you're working with a hypnotherapist, you're working with someone who is in integrity with the work that they're doing, okay, you will only be getting the suggestions that you want to give, that you want to get and feed to your subconscious mind. All right. So when I'm working with a client, the first thing I'm asking them is, how do you feel and how do you want to feel? In a nutshell. I ask way more questions than that, but in a nutshell, how do you feel right now? How do you want to feel? Okay. And then I use imagery. I use a lot of imagery and creative visualization because this is the key to enacting change. All right. And then I use the client's own words and I put it back into their subconscious mind. All right. So I am not giving my own suggestions. Now I add my own flowery language because I'm a poet and a writer and I'm a hypnotherapist, right? So I'm using my own flowery language. I'm using the techniques to get you into that state to bypass the critical filter. Now I'm using those things, but I'm only utilizing your words, okay? So people who participate in stage hypnosis, and I have participated in stage hypnosis. I've been a subject, okay, for stage hypnosis. Because like I said in the previous video, a friend of mine named Glenn Rodman, he has a YouTube channel. You guys should check it out. He is a certified hypnotherapist and he does stage hypnosis. So I have been a part of one of his shows where I can't even remember what he asked. Like I didn't really remember the whole thing, to be honest with you, but I do know that there were certain things that he instructed us to do and I didn't do them. Even though other people did them, I didn't, because you still maintain a level of control. You do not lose control of yourself. All right. If you lose control of yourself while you're in hypnosis or someone has put you in state and then they're telling you to do certain things and you find that you're doing things that you wouldn't necessarily do in your waking state, there's a couple of reasons why. One is you're highly, highly suggestible, which means you probably are slam in the middle. You are a somnambulist. You haven't learned how to control your suggestibility. Okay, you haven't mastered how to create those blocks. All right. There are people out there. There's people who are highly, highly influential. Children. All right. But some adults have the mind of a child. Okay. Because they haven't built up that wall. They have not strengthened their own mental agility, which is very, very important. Okay. Because there are systems and entities out there, all right, both in the physical world and in the non-physical world that count on you being highly suggestible. They count on you not having strong mental agility, which is what I talk about all day long on this channel, how to strengthen your own mental agility, how to become a sovereign being, how to have control over your thoughts, mastering your emotions, mastering your mind. All right. So that you can be more discerning about what you take in and you can be a part of a stage hypnosis show. And if you don't want to bark like a dog, you're not going to bark like a dog. All right. But if you already are struggling with mastering yourself, if you already have struggles in that area, then yeah, you're probably going to bark like a dog. Okay. And when you go to these hypnosis shows, the hypnotist knows how to pick you out of the crowd. If you're a somnambulist, we can tell a somnambulist when we see one. As soon as somebody walks through the door, I already know that they're a somnambulist if they are one. Okay. So we also have in hypnotherapy, if you come for a hypnotherapy session, there's a test that I give to test your suggestibility, to find out what your subconscious mind's language is, because we all learn differently. Some of us take in suggestions literally, some of us take in suggestions inferentially, and then there's some of us who are somnambulist and we take in information both ways. All right. So If you guys are interested in testing your own suggestibility, I won't do it right now, but I'll come back and I'll link a website where you can go and test your suggestibility. All right. It's through the HMI college where I am an associate instructor, and you can test your suggestibility and find out where you fall on the scale. All right. And it's very important that you understand how you take in information, because once you understand that, it can really help you gain more control over the way you take in information and how suggestible you are to certain things. Okay. So a somnambulist, I tell a somnambulist, don't watch a whole lot of television because you go in so easily. All right. You go in so easily. And because I am somnambulist, because we are so sensitive. All right. So my subscriber, Ahimsa 42, this is the one who posed this question to me. He's saying, to me, it seems like the condition you described would be a big weakness and make them extremely vulnerable. Well, and like I said before, it would be a weakness if you don't understand it and if you don't understand how to master it. But let me tell you what the perks are. Okay. The perks are you're highly intuitive. You are able to go into state quite easily, which means you're able to tap into your own subconscious mind and program your own subconscious mind quite easily. Okay. We walk in between worlds. So you have access to physical world and you have access to the ethereal. That is a huge, huge bonus. And I would rather be somnambulist. I would much rather be somnambulist than, more one way than the other. Okay. Because I wouldn't be able to do the work that I do the way that I do it if I wasn't somnambulist, if I didn't have that sensitivity. So it's not really a weakness once you understand the pros of it and you start to train yourself, or you learn how to get trained on how to utilize it as a benefit for yourself. Okay. So it is a weakness for people who don't understand it, which is why people come into my office or to my video chat, because they understand that there's something going on with them and they can't quite get to the bottom of it or crack the code. And when I explain this to them, then they're like, oh my God, that makes perfect sense. All my life, I've been doing this. All my life, it's been easy for me to slip into this, zoned out state. All my life, it's been easy for me to pick up habits and things like that. Okay. So it's not every single person you notice, right? Ahimsa 42, every single person who does stage hypnosis doesn't have the same story. They're all having a different experience because we all take in information differently. We all process information differently. But the key to overcome the fear of anything, especially the fear of your own mind, is to understand your mind. Start doing research. Ask questions like you did. Okay. Because it is you. If you are afraid of tapping into your subconscious mind, you are afraid of yourself, because your subconscious mind rules about 88 to 90% of your automatic behaviors. Okay, your daily automatic behaviors is controlled from the subconscious mind, because it's where all of your programming lives. So if you have certain habits, or if there is a fear or a phobia, or if you are trying to lose weight, quit smoking, if you're trying to break through any mental or emotional blockages that are keeping you from taking that next step or that leap into that bigger life that you have visioned for yourself, you will hold yourself back if You do not understand how to tap into your subconscious mind. If you do not understand what it takes to gain access to the subconscious mind on a real level, Now, people say, well, affirmations work. Yes, affirmations do work. But if you're only processing it on a conscious level through the conscious mind, if you haven't worked through, if you haven't, gained access to the subconscious mind, you have to understand that there's a conscious mind, there's a critical mind, and then there's a subconscious mind. Think of it like a big glacier. When you look at the top of the water, you just see a really tiny piece, right? That's your conscious mind. And that rules about 10 to 12% of your total mind power. So it really doesn't stand a chance. That's the conscious mind that says, this is what we need to be doing. We need to quit smoking. We need to lose this weight. We need to go ahead and start that business. We need to go ahead and get out of this relationship because it's toxic. Okay. We need to go ahead and heal ourselves from past wounds, childhood traumas, abuse. That's the conscious mind speaking that to you. And it makes sense. It's like, yes, let's do this. But then you find yourself trying to do that over and over and over and over and over again, but you have little to no results. And the reason is because you're not tapping into the source. The source is the subconscious mind. So when you go underneath that water, okay, it starts to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. All right. And to the point where you can't even see the bottom of the glacier. That is how deep your subconscious programming goes. That's how vast it is. And you must do different things in order to get different results. Okay. So if you're dealing with anger issues, if you're dealing with fear, if you're dealing with anxiety, and you get stressed out really easily, you can't find a way to shake that. Most people go to substances like food, sex, drugs, alcohol, overworking, working too much, sleeping too much, shopping too much, escaping too much. Maybe you go on vacation a lot. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you find that your pockets are now thin and you're in debt because you are investing in a habit to escape from a problem, you have a problem. That's a problem. And you're not tackling it at the root, at the source. Your subconscious mind is the root. It is the source. Okay. So if you are afraid to tap into that, I am on the opposite end of the spectrum. So you're probably what we call an emotional suggestible, Ahimsa 42. And an emotional suggestible is someone that is, they're mainly in their heads a lot. Okay, they're mainly in their heads a lot. And this is a person who would question a lot of things, okay? And then you will, and basically what an emotional suggestible is that even though we use the term emotional, it does mean that this person is in their heads a lot, and they're staying in their heads a lot because they are dissociated from the feeling in the body. All right, they're just so they know how to separate that, and it is a way to protect oneself. Okay. And these are all learned behaviors. These are all things that we've picked up from the environments around us, from our parents. You pick up your suggestibility. All right. You pick up your sexuality, which is your behavior, which is what you show to the world. You pick that up from the secondary caregiver, which is the father. Okay. Now that can alter a little bit depending on what your home environment was like, depending on what your family structure was like. I wouldn't know that until we sat down and did an actual cognitive portion or an actual consultation. All right. So getting back to you, Ahimsa 42, you would probably test rather high on the emotional suggestibility scale. Do you find that you tend to respond better to more inferred suggestions, like when you're reading something or when someone is trying to give you instructions to do something? Do you find that you respond better if it's more inferred rather than a direct suggestion? And you can, answer that when you're ready. Okay. So when you are learning how you take in information, this is going to be very, very helpful for you, because it's going to teach you how, not only about yourself, not only how you take in information and how you process information, but it's also going to help you understand the people around you. Okay. So if I'm a physical, right? I'm symbolist, but I'm more on the physical side. So physicals take in information very literally. Okay. So I'll tell you the differences between what these suggestibilities mean. So I am a smoker. All right. And I'm a hypnotherapist. I'm in the hypnotherapist's office, and they're saying to me, you no longer smoke anymore. You are now a non-smoker. You have these healthier habits now. You go for walks, you drink water whenever you get a craving for a cigarette. As a physical suggestible, a person who takes in information literally, that works for me. But for a person like Ahimsa 42, who is an emotional suggestible, that is not going to work for him, because he's going to say, well, how is drinking more water and making me exercise going to keep me from smoking anymore? He may have a ton of questions about that, because an emotional suggestible is the person who has to make up their own mind, okay? They have to control the environment around them, all right? It has to make sense to them as to why doing A equals B, okay? So if I was working with a Ahimsa 42 and he was a smoker and he's an emotional suggestible, instead I would say, and taking in some nice, clean, deep breaths, breathing in this clean, fresh air brings a sense of peace and calm over the entire body. Okay, something like that. And it inspires a healthier way of being. You see the differences there? One is very, very literal. One is very flowery, okay, and very inferred. All right. But Ahimsa 42, or a person who is an emotional suggestible, would pick up on the inference, okay? Because maybe we suggested that we agreed that taking some deep breaths in is going to bring about that sense of deep relaxation that he's chasing whenever he takes a puff of a cigarette, which is usually what smokers are looking for. Hold up, you guys. I got to plug in my computer. 1 second, sorry. That's usually what most smokers are looking for. They're looking for deep relaxation. They're looking to take in deep, when you inhale, that's a deep breath, and it brings that sense of relaxation. All right. What's going on with my internet? Okay. Sorry, guys, my internet is acting weird. I will be so happy when Mercury retrograde is done with, when it's over with. Anyway. Okay. So Ahimsa 42 says, yes, I think so. So when I just gave those two suggestions for smoking, which one resonated with you? Okay, he says, so Ahimsa 42 says, I tend to be very much against authority and often do the opposite of what I am told to do. So you're definitely an emotional suggestible. Yep. That's pretty much what it comes down to. Okay. So I wouldn't give you direct suggestions. Okay. A physical suggestible loves it when somebody tells them what to do. An emotional suggestible, not so much. It has to be their idea. Okay. So I have to speak 2 different languages when I'm working with a client. So I have to find out what your suggestibility is before I take you into hypnosis. So some people will say, oh, I've been hypnotized before, but it didn't work. And I automatically know that the person who hypnotized them, maybe they were not trained about, they don't know about suggestibility testing. Okay. Doesn't mean that doesn't mean that they're not a great hypnotist. They just probably, they weren't trained the way I was trained. Okay. So if you're going to work with a hypnotherapist, guys, make sure you do your research and you find out where they were trained. Okay. What kind of training they had and how long did they train for? Not to poo-poo on anybody's programs or schools or anything like that, but you need more than a weekend's worth of training in hypnosis. I would not let a weekend certified hypnotherapist hypnotize me. I just wouldn't do it. So Ahimsa 42 says, yes, that very much describes me to a T. There you have it. Okay. All right. And so if I was to work with you, Ahimsa 42, I would dig a little bit deeper and we would find out what those issues with authority stem from. Okay. I would just ask you a lot of questions, all right, to find out what the root of that could possibly be. All right. So just to, and I do that. And when you do hypnotherapy, is not a traditional therapy session where I'm not going to make you talk about your childhood all the time. I'm going to ask questions about it because it gives me information that I can use to really help pull out the positive suggestions from you, that we can feed back into the subconscious mind to help clear out those old emotions that are attached to the events that took place in childhood, and then replace it with positive suggestions, positive energy, okay, that's going to fill you up and boost you up and make you feel better. And because everything I take out, I got to replace it with something positive. All right. It's just like a baby. If a baby is running around with scissors, but you want to keep that baby satisfied, that baby, she's happy running around with those scissors. If you take the scissors away, what do you think is going to happen? She's going to start screaming, right? Because you took her toy away from her. But if I replace it with maybe some baby scissors or kitty scissors that are kid friendly and safe for her, then she'll be happy, right? She'll be able to accept that change. Because now she has a substitute for the thing that was harmful, okay, and replaced it with something healthier and more beneficial. I'm just checking the time right now. Okay, so I'm going to have to go in shortly. Okay, so Ahimsa 42, did that answer your question? Or does anybody else have any questions about what we're talking about right now? Okay. So I understand that there's a difference between stage hypnosis and a hypnotherapy session. And there's a really big difference between hypnosis and mind control. All right. And I've done a really detailed breakdown about okay, let me read that 1 second. I have a really big breakdown. Oh, she's calling me right now. Sorry, guys. Hold on 1 second. Let me text her. Sorry. Sorry, guys. The woman that's coming to do some healing work on me is she just called. So, okay, I'm going to need to wrap this up. But if you want more detailed description about the differences between hypnosis and mind control, I have a video that I did last year. So go look back on my YouTube channel, Open Door Hypnosis TV, for my Facebook friends and my YouTube subscribers. You guys just go back and look through those videos and you'll see it is from from last year. I want to say, I think that's what it is. It's like mind control and hypnosis or something like that. Okay. So I'm going to leave now because I got to handle this, but I'll be back. If I don't get back on tonight, maybe I'll try to get back on again sometime later this week. Okay. I love you all so very much. Thank you so much, Ahimsa42, for recommending this video and for your question. I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Pick up whatever books you can get your hands on about hypnosis. I highly recommend that you read them. So I love you guys. I gotta go. Bye. Leave any questions, comments in the below the video on Facebook and on YouTube. Okay. Give it a thumbs up if you liked it. Share this video and invite your friends to join the Facebook group. YouTube people, if you haven't joined my Facebook group, go ahead and there's links all down below in the description box and do that. Facebook people, if you're not a YouTube subscriber, go to YouTube and subscribe. Love you. I'll talk to you soon. Have a blessed day. Bye. Front door. Coming out now. Let's see. Hi, Veronica. Sorry, I was in the middle of a Facebook Live when you called. So I just ended it. So yeah, you can come to the front door. That would be great. Oh, you are? Okay, let me come out and see. Nice to stay. I'm gonna put my cat in the crate real quick because I don't want him to run out. It's too hot out there. My little cutie, yes. I'll be right back, sweetie pie. Okay. Hold on 1 second. I'm gonna come out because I don't see you at my front door. Yes. Isis, just wait a minute, baby, okay? Oh, this is